For Texans, access to THC products may soon face new restrictions.
At a federal level, these products are legal. It was a 2019 farm bill that made these hemp products legal, but at a state level, they are not legal, and the state is now talking about clamping down much harder on these products.
As lawmakers consider new restrictions, another issue impacting San Marcos' water availability. The Edwards Aquifer entered 2025 with its second lowest reading in history.
We have an Edwards Aquifer groundwater permit. It's for about 653 million gallons a year is our permitted amount. I'd say about 80% of that, about 80% of our water comes from the Edwards Aquifer for the San Marcos campus.
Meanwhile, on the field, Texas State softball and baseball are gearing up for a new season.
There's some things that I want to make sure this team does, and one of those is, I would like to see us have a little bit more offensive power than what that last year's group did, and even over the course of their 3 or 4 years playing here.
As the athletes plan for the upcoming season, students are also setting goals for the new year.
Personally, I want to be a better person, and just be kind to others, have a more open mind.
All of this and more on the January edition of the Star News Network.
I'm Leilani Benitez.
And I'm James Phillips.
Welcome to the January edition of Star News Network.
Star News Network brings you the latest on all things Texas State and San Marcos.
This month, we'll start off with a look into the 89th legislative session.
Texas lawmakers have filed over 2,000 bills, including one that could ban the sale of hemp products statewide.
Here's reporter Diego Medel with more on the future of THC in Texas.
I'm standing outside of the Capitol, where soon politicians will decide the fate of THC products for Texans. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has proposed a bill in the upcoming legislative session that would ban the sale of all consumable THC products in the state. In 2019, a bill passed that legalized all hemp products with THC percentages below 0.3%. Since then, hemp has exploded into a multi-billion-dollar industry. Dr. Ty Shepis, a researcher in substance abuse at Texas State University, believes that the ban on hemp products may have unintended consequences.
There's a really well-known principle, really, in substance use research and clinical work, that what you end up doing by making a drug illegal is you tend to shift it to the illicit market and more dangerous forms. You see this in something like prohibition.
Eric Martinez, Executive Director of Policy for Mono Amiga, believes the law will only hurt the community.
SB 3 will, cause a lot more of our community members to be criminalized when they otherwise need not be. Consenting adults who choose to engage in a currently legal activity will suddenly be criminalized for actions that we have tons of businesses around in Hays County, across the state of Texas.
Carl Stovall, owner of Miracle Leaf Health Center, has one message for Texas lawmakers.
Use common sense and listen to the people's desire and needs, and look at the stats. You have alcohol that's legal that's killed millions. You have nicotine that's legal that's killed millions. You have marijuana or cannabis that's illegal that has killed no one. So the stats alone, common sense value, just tells you that that's what you need to be looking at and focused on moving forward, instead of worried about lining your pockets with lobbyists for the big pharma, alcohol, tobacco industry.
The legislative session is set to end on June 2nd. Until then, the future of the hemp industry in the Lone Star State remains uncertain. I'm Diego Medel, reporting for the University Star.
Thanks, Diego. Our next segment shifts focus to a vital resource that impacts us all: water.
Here's reporter Carlene Ottah with the latest on the Edwards Aquifer.
2025 began with the Edwards Aquifer having the second lowest reading in its history. A lack of rainfall over the past 5 years is the cause. Senior Director of Aquifer Science Research and Modeling of the Edwards Aquifer Authority, Paul Bertetti, says that San Marcos falls under the San Antonio Pool. While there was a good amount of rainfall in 2021, the San Antonio area in 2019 saw almost 60 inches below expected rainfall if the past 5 years were average.
And so that's almost, in a 5-year period, it's almost equivalent to a 2-year deficit in rainfall. So that's the real answer, is that we've just had very little rain. We're in a sequence in which, especially last year, September and October are really important months for rainfall in our region, and we got almost no rainfall in any of those months.
For Texas State University, this results in a reduction in the max amount of water it can use from the aquifer. Associate Vice President of Facilities, Dan Costello, says there are practices for reducing water on campus, such as monitored irrigation systems and native planting.
Right now, I'd say we've been fortunate in that even with the permitted amounts, even with the curtailments, we have sufficient water available within our permit that we haven't had to restrict, student and faculty water use.
To help with water levels, students can report faulty equipment or plumbing on TXST Mobile. For Star News Network, I'm Carlene Ottah.
Thanks for the update, Carlene. While water levels this winter remain a concern, Texas State fans have their eyes on a different kind of season.
Reporter Caden Vicent is here with the latest on Bobcats on the mound.
Bobcat softball is looking to maintain its success from last season when they won the Sun Belt Conference and made it to the NCAA tournament for the second consecutive season. Coach Ricky Woodard is trying to stick to her winning ways despite losing 8 pivotal seniors from the 2024 roster.
The goal is to be playing our best ball in May, and I think that with this group, we really have to believe and buy into that. We have a couple of really good transfers that are going to help us. We got some really young freshmen that I feel like are going to be impact players for us this year, but we're going to have to be patient with them.
Last season, the Bobcats relied heavily on the arm of Jessica Mullins, who was one of those 8 who graduated. Coming into the season, those are likely the big issues that need to be filled.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to kind of pitch by committee. I don't know that there'll be that kid that throws 100, innings every weekend for us, which is what it felt like Mullins did. Obviously, Maddie Azua can hold down the fort, I think, for a while.
She did help me a lot. She gave me a lot of pep talks because she's already been through everything way more than I have. So her experience helped me with my little to none experience. So,
while softball finished last season as Sun Belt Conference champions, baseball was not able to qualify for the Sun Belt Conference tournament.
Head coach Stephen Trout is looking to rebound this year after the program's second losing season since 2018.
I think all 3 sides of the baseball, we got to get better out on the pitching, offense, and then defense. And so that's the key to the game. It was a good fall for us. It's been a good early spring. I'm excited to push it into the season.
Junior infielder Chase Moore and sophomore infielder Ryan Farb have been starters since their freshman year and hope to lead the charge for a team that lost 27 players from the 2024 roster.
I mean, seeing what we did as a team last year, it's like, all right, that can't happen again. And I think that's really kind of inspired this group to work their butts off every day.
With the new faces, it's ability to change the culture a little bit, right? So kind of revamped our culture. It was a really competitive fall just because there's so many new faces and a lot of spots up for grabs. So I think that competition kind of brought us together, and I think we have the ability to do something really special.
In addition to some key players on the field, Trout has added some talent in the Bobcat baseball coaching ranks as well.
First, Coach Pierce kind of views everything for our program A to Z and helps us out on things he sees from his lens. And then Coach Linehan going right from the big leagues right into our clubhouse. It's been amazing, the new things he's brought to us on the hitting aspect.
Softball starts their 16-game home stretch against top 25 ranked Arkansas on Thursday, February 6th, while baseball starts their season 8 days later at home against Binghamton on Valentine's Day. At the softball and baseball facilities, I'm Caden Besant for Star News Network.
Thanks, Caden. The Bobcats aren't the only ones starting something new.
Students are setting new goals as we enter the new year. Here's reporter Rosie Mendoza with more.
Welcome back, Bobcats, and happy 2025. After a semester of adjusting to college life, freshmen like Lucy Harlow and Jordan Blackman are setting new goals for the year ahead. They reflect on their experiences so far and share how they're preparing for success in 2025.
A lesson I learned this semester was it's really important, I think, to speak up for yourself in your classes because you're in these huge lecture halls and the teachers sometimes go really fast. So learning how to speak up for yourself and actually ask questions when you need help is like a really important thing I learned.
My top priorities academically right now is hopefully making it onto the dean's list, but that's going to take a lot of work and a lot of studying, a lot of note taking, and I think I can. I just need to lock in on my classes.
Navigating challenges doesn't have to be done alone. We spoke with Kaylee Shoemaker from Freshman Advising to see how students can start off strong.
It's really important to use the things that are given to you on the Texas State campus. You cannot see it, but I have an entire resource wall here. The Texas State website can be really helpful if you are looking for something very specific, or you can always speak to your academic advisor if you need a referral somewhere else too.
Beyond academic advising, upperclassmen bring a unique perspective on navigating college life. Senior Daniel Bowman gives advice for freshmen going into the new year.
One habit that I created was keeping a detailed planner, and that helped me by not only making my academic experience calm by not ending up with an exam that I had tomorrow that I didn't study for, but also once I checked everything off, I knew that I could have fun with friends and relax.
Whether it's building better habits, staying on top of academics, or making time for self-care, this new semester is an opportunity for a fresh start. Remember, Bobcats, the resources are here to help you succeed, and the lessons you learn will help you move forward. Here's to a great spring semester.
Leilani, it seems like there's a lot of resources for Bobcats on campus.
Yeah, I can't wait to use some of them to help me reach my goals.
Me too. That wraps it up for this month's edition of Star News Network. From conservation to legislation, we're proud to bring you stories that matter.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to stay connected with us at universitystar.com for the latest updates. See you next time.